What's up, everyone?
Welcome back to another leftovers video.
And by leftovers, we mean we're cleaning out our pantry today.
Yeah, so this is something that we really need to do and something that we want to make a point to do at the end of every year because, I don't know, I think it's just a good habit to have. See what we have left over and need to use up and
we can start fresh.
Yeah, we can start fresh. So we're actually going to be doing a sort of chop challenge for this video. We got the idea of not only doing a pantry leftovers challenge or video, but also doing it so I pick 3 ingredients for Chris to make a recipe with and vice versa.
Okay.
We're gonna pick 3 for each other and then we can use whatever else we want for the recipe with no limits. It can be sweet, savory, whatever you wanna do.
Juice.
Okay, so my first ingredient for you. Let's go with phyllo dough, because we have to use this.
Juice. I'll go with sun-dried tomatoes.
Okay, okay. I guess we'll trade, because we don't have these. Let's do, since it's right in front of you, noodles.
Okay, geez, Carb City over here.
I mean, look who you are, you know?
I'm gonna make a sandwich. Just kidding. You know what goes good with sun-dried tomatoes? Applesauce.
Oh, yeah, totally. That's gonna be great. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous right now because I don't want to give you like a really bad ingredient and then you do it back to me. Let's do cashews.
Okay, that's not terrible.
Got a fresh bag here for you.
Cashews. How about flax? Holly flax.
How about flax, guys?
Okay.
All right.
What do you, okay.
So my ingredients are unsweetened applesauce, sun-dried tomatoes, and flaxseed meal. Great.
And I have phyllo dough, noodles,
okay.
and cashews.
Okay, so let's clear the counter and do some planning.
Let's do it.
Got my handy dandy notebook.
Here we go. Let's think about this.
Baking.
Just had a vision.
I think I'm good
We're
here.
good.
All right. What the heck are you making?
I think I'm gonna make some mac and cheese spring rolls. So we have a great cashew
Whoa.
mac and cheese sauce on our website.
You can make spring rolls with this?
Yeah.
We have a recipe because we have potatoes. We actually need to use them up before we leave. I'm going to LA. He's going to Jersey on Tuesday.
Jersey.
Today's Sunday. And in our ebook, plug it in right here, we have a potato bread roll recipe. Because I knew that I could use these 2 in like a baking recipe. I feel like that's the only thing I could do with applesauce. I don't know. So I'm gonna make a flax egg and then put this in bread too. And I'm gonna use sun-dried tomatoes and we have Italian seasoning and I'm gonna make I'm gonna make potato bread rolls with sun-dried tomatoes.
Sounds good to me.
I think mine will go pretty smoothly.
I think mine's
I've
gonna
made it
go
before.
extremely good because
what?
I have a vision.
So since we already did a challenge video last week, this one's just gonna be, I guess, for bragging rights. We're not gonna include this in our score because it would just be easier that way. And
You gotta keep it consistent, 1 a month.
yeah, so I don't know. This is gonna be all fun and games here. So you guys can let us know who's you like down below. But there's no need to vote for this video for this month, and let's get started.
Let's do it. All right, so I am working with phyllo dough, pasta, and cashews. Mac and cheese spring rolls was the most obvious thing I can come up with, so we're gonna use the mac and cheese sauce that we have on our blog already. It'll be linked down below, of course. I'm gonna just add some water to a cast iron skillet. And then I'm gonna saute some onions and some garlic. And I'll let this cook down for a few minutes until the onions become translucent and the garlic fragrant. I feel like I've said that more times than I ever should in my whole life, but the end of the year is a beautiful time. You can really set resolutions and goals for the year ahead. Really become introspective and think about your life and what you want. Bless you.
I'm sorry.
Bless you so hard. This year, Well, next year I'm turning 30, so it's just big, you know. So this coming year, I'm really trying to make some moves and just, I don't know, take things to the next level. So I'm really gonna be spending the next few weeks to hone in and figure out what I want and how to achieve the goals that I want set. So it's gonna be an exciting time. Let us know your New Year's resolutions down below and your goals. I'd love to hear them.
Hey babe, if you just stop mixing it, it'll cook faster.
So if I stop mixing it, it'll cook faster. So I'm just gonna let it chill. Look at this smoke.
Look at that smoke.
And let the onions and garlic cook down. Let the onions and garlic cook down.
Where's our shaker? I was upstairs.
Oh, add a little more water. I think we're getting pretty close here. Here we have it. Now we're gonna make our cheese sauce. We're gonna make our cheese sauce now. We have our lovely Vitamix. You can use any high-powered blender. I think you might even be able to get away with a low-powered blender, but we're gonna add the onions and garlic that we just cooked up into our blender. Perfect. And now we have some cashews. So we soaked these in hot water for about 30 minutes to an hour. You can soak them in room temperature water for 6 to 8 hours or overnight, but we were pressed for time. Just found out what I was making this morning. So the water was boiled and then these were just soaked for a bit, and here they are. We got some lemon juice. Beautiful. We got some potatoes. This was steamed for, I'd say about 20 minutes until they become fork tender. It will vary on how they're cut and everything, so once you can stick a fork through them with no problem, they're ready to go. Then we have some carrots here for color and a little bit of nutrition. Nice beta carotene, vitamins. Is it vitamin A carrots have? And then we have some nooch, because I don't even need to say anything else. We have some turmeric, and then some salt. I accentuate that for just, you know, for fun. A little bit of black pep. I love black pepper. I feel like I say this every single time I use it, but it is my fave. So you can do this to taste, but I always like to add a little bit of extra. And then finally we have our veggie broth. Beautiful. I'm just gonna whip this up on high for a few minutes until it is creamy. What? Alright, so we're only gonna use about half of this because we only had a half bag of pasta, but if you had a full bag of pasta, you can use this whole thing, but since we're doing some leftovers here, we only had a half a bag. Wow, that looks unbelievably good. And we're actually just gonna pop this in the freezer for about 10 minutes just to let it set a bit, just so when we put them in the phyllo dough wrappers, it'll stay nice and firm. All right, we are back and our mac and cheese is out of the freezer, looking good. Then we have our phyllo dough right here. So this phyllo dough's been in our freezer for a little while, so it's a little wrinkly and delicate. But we're just gonna bear with it and see what we can make happen. Basically, we're just gonna have to cut all of the phyllo dough right in half, so we have 2 sets of squares. This is like sheets of paper that are also dough. It's really crazy. All right, so we'll move this over here. We'll move all of this over here. And now we're just gonna wanna take a few sheets, maybe like 3 or 4 as one. So we're gonna take a little bit of mac and cheese I'm just gonna scoop diddy doop some of it into the corner. Say that's about a good amount. So I'm just gonna roll this up like a cigar, kind of.
You rolled a cigar before?
No.
Also, this isn't a good angle for me to get you rolling it. You might have to do
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna do another one. All right, so that first one is a little rough. We're gonna keep it moving here. It'll get easier as we go. I think we only need like a pretty small scoop here. There we go. Now we're folding those edges over. Beautiful. Just gonna use a little bit of water to seal the ends. Then we're just gonna pop this on to our tray. It's kind of ridiculous how much bigger the first one was, but that's okay. All right, so I don't need to show this whole process, so I'm just gonna roll the rest of these and then I'll show you what to do next. All right, so we have all of our rolls laid out and made 10, and then one's a little extra large, but the dough is a little flaky and weird, so they're not the prettiest, but I think they're gonna taste bomb. So before we pop these in the oven, we're just gonna brush them with some melted vegan butter, just to give them an extra crisp, and so they turn nice and golden in the oven. You know what I just thought of? It would be bomb getting either puff pastry or croissant rolls and making the same thing. Oh my God. That is a genius idea. So if someone wants to do it, maybe I'll do it. All right, I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes and we'll see what happens.
So first up, working with these sun-dried tomatoes, since they're not in oil, what you have to do is rehydrate them. So I just popped them into a bowl with some hot water for like 30 to 40 minutes now, and they are nice and moist, nice and soft. So basically I'm just gonna remove them from the water, and then I'm just going to dice them. Dice them pretty small, but also they don't need to be perfect. So this is gonna be going into the bread rolls. I don't know if I said this before, but I'm making potato bread rolls. With basil and herbs, with sun-dried tomato and herbs, including basil. Yeah, so just gonna chop these very quickly. So this recipe is actually from our ebook. I'm gonna talk about that because why not? We always have the ebook intro in the beginning, but if you didn't know, Chris and I released an ebook with our parents last November already, which is crazy. But in the ebook, we collaborated with them to veganize, I guess 30, no, how many recipes was it?
40.
Yeah, but how many recipes? There was like 20 recipes from our parents, like 10 each. Chris's mom and dad veganized a lot of recipes he grew up eating, including Italian recipes, actually Italian recipes mostly. And then my mom veganized some recipes that I grew up eating. Most of them are Filipino recipes. So it was really cool to be able to not only work with our parents, but also show people who share the same cultures as us that you can eat the same foods but vegan, and they'll be awesome. And this is a recipe that I have in there. Chris and I created 20 original recipes, so 10 each again. And we dubbed them as like recipes to start new traditions. So it's like recipes that we really love and hopefully we'll pass on. I don't know if we're gonna have kids, but we'll pass on to our friends and our family. But yeah, so almost done cutting these. This cutting board is sliding a little, so kind of have to be a little careful here. So I prepared a flax egg already, so I feel like I say this in like every recipe we make. A flax egg is 3 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon flaxseed meal, and this is used as a binder in a recipe. Sorry, excuse me. So we're gonna get started here with some active dry yeast. Let me just make sure it is lukewarm, not too hot. So you don't want the water to be too hot because then it would kill the yeast. So it has to be like warm to the touch. Gonna add our active dry yeast. This is 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons, sorry. And then I'm going to be adding in a tablespoon of sugar there. So I'm just gonna swirl that together. And we're going to let this sit and activate for 15 minutes. You'll know when it's ready, when it starts to bubble up and it'll grow in height, I guess. So we're gonna set this aside and I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna grab a bowl here. Let me just move these things out of the way really quick. As you can see, our yeast activated. It's now pretty tall, so it's looking good. And what I'm going to do is in this big bowl, first I'm gonna add my dry ingredients. So 2 1/4 cup all-purpose flour. I think I can remember all these at the top of my head right now. And then I have some herbs here. So I did a mix of fresh basil and fresh thyme. You can really use whatever herbs you want. You can also use a dry Italian seasoning blend if you don't have fresh herbs, if you don't want to get fresh herbs. And then I'm also going to be adding in some salt. So I have a teaspoon of salt here. And I also have another tablespoon of sugar. All right, and black pepper, da bomb. So let's get crazy. It's gonna add really good flavor to it. We're also going to be adding in our sun-dried tomatoes. If you don't have sun-dried tomatoes, maybe you can use like olives or anything of your choice really. If you want to put like chopped roasted red peppers or even some fresh ones, I think that'll be really good. It's going to mix this quite a bit. So activated yeast going in. Every last bit. I don't have my spatula right now, so. And then I'm also going to be adding in the applesauce. So 3 tablespoons of applesauce. All right, we got our prepared flax egg. Nice and gelatinous. I think I should get a spatula. Just to make sure everything is precise and we're getting more out of this, I guess. Oh wow, there was quite a bit left in here, so I'm glad I did that. All right, and last but not least, we have our potatoes. So we just steamed potatoes and then I mashed it. So I have like a cup of mashed potatoes here. So I'm gonna scoop that in as well. And it's not like super fine, but I'm gonna keep mixing it right now and it's gonna break them down even more. And in our original recipe in our ebook, we actually put turmeric in here, which you could totally do as well. I decided to leave it out, just, I don't know why, but just because. But it doesn't really add flavor to it, but it adds like the benefits of turmeric. It adds a really nice yellow color. I feel like it really spices things up a bit because it makes them very unique. And so there are little bits of potato, like little chunks here and there. That's totally fine. I'm trying to break them down as best I can, but if I'm not gonna be able to, it's fine. It's actually fine once you bake the rolls. And then I'm going to set it into an oiled bowl. I'm just really just gonna oil the same bowl, pop it in there, and then we're going to let it rise, and then we're gonna bake them. All right, so the dough has risen, as you can see. It's about doubled in size. So just let it rise until it doubles in size, like 1 to 2 hours. Ours was like 1 hour 15. And also we're trying to hurry this up because I'm really impatient right now. I'm ready to eat this thing. So I'm flouring just a cutting board here. You can also do any work surface. You can do the counter if you want. I just don't want to clean the counter after this. And I'm going to just be putting the dough into here. I put a little flour on it because it's a little sticky. And basically I'm going to be dividing the dough into 8 and then making balls. I'm just roughly doing it. If you want to weigh it, you totally can, but I ain't got time for that. All right, so I got 8 balls here.
8 balls of fire!
And, well, 8 pieces, I should say. I'm gonna roll them into balls. Flour my hands a little bit. So this recipe is a little time consuming, but the actual making of the dough is not. because after this we're gonna have to let it rise again, and that is necessary because you want these to be fluffy. If you don't let them rise enough, if you don't let the yeast activate enough, it won't like reach its fullest potential, I guess. Its full potential, so just letting you know that. So now I'm gonna move this. I have a greased pan. I think this is 8 inches. It's a pie pan. You can use really any pan that you would like. This one, it's gonna bake them into like a nice circle, but you can bake them all on a tray so they're like square, I guess, just depending on your preference. And we're just going to line the pan. Let's do this. So now I'm going to just cover these with a clean cloth again, set it in a warm area, and let this rise for 1 more hour, and then we'll be ready to bake. You ready for the grand reveal? So the dough has risen, and now we're just popping it into the oven at 350 for like 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll have bread rolls. So see you again soon.
What up? We're done.
I'd be lying if I said we didn't try these before this scene, but...
Do you see this?
Babe, stop. Okay.
I ate a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay, here we
so
go.
I'm gonna try the roll again.
So look at this. Here we go. Mac and cheese spring rolls, y'all.
Look at that stew. This is really fucking
So these have
hot.
to. So these have been sitting out a little bit, so they're best to eat fresh. But we're just gonna do it anyway.
These I guess are too.
Well, we're fresh.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So I actually like this better than the original recipe in our ebook because the sun-dried tomatoes add like the perfect amount of acidity and salt, and the herbs are so hot. So freaking good. I would highly recommend you try this out.
I see you riding. They hating.
What?
This tastes like Pizza Hut.
Did I win?
Probably.
You know what would have gone good in here? Nutritional yeast. Or like vegan cheese. Like if you put like shredded vegan cheese in it.
What about?
Dude, highly recommend. I'm gonna try it again with those. Maybe we'll put these on the blog.
Oh, how about this?
Ooh, marinara. Bomb. So does that mean I won?
I think so. But it's not a competition, so we're having fun. That's why I was dancing.
The mac and cheese recipe is actually already on our blog.
So we're not gonna put the spring roll recipe on the blog.
Yeah, but basically you just take the recipe and...
You put it in the freezer and then you cut phyllo dough in half and roll it.
Or puff pastry. You can put herbs in there.
Or croissant rolls.
Ooh, herbs would be good. Sun-dried tomatoes would be good in here. Pesto.
Oh, that was so close.
Dang. So since this is an adaptation from it's basically the recipe from our ebook, so I'll link our ebook down below. The only thing that we did differently is we didn't put the turmeric, and then we added in like 2 to 3 tablespoons of sun-dried tomatoes and then a tablespoon of fresh herbs. Super easy to make. It does take a little bit of time because of the rising for the dough and then the balls.
It's got a proof, mate.
But in general, it was a really easy recipe. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed our pantry leftover challenge.
And this was the last video of 2018.
Yeah.
We're not going to be posting at all in January on
We're
YouTube
taking a
at
break,
least.
guys. And our vlog. We really need time to like step away and I guess get our creative juices flowing because we're like constantly working and we're not being able to pause and like kind of regroup, rethink things.
We're gonna reflect. We're gonna
come back.
We're coming hard in February though, so
Yeah.
We'll be back first week of February with new videos.
Yeah,
all this fun stuff.
We're on Instagram, Sweet Simple Vegan, Conscious Chris. We'll be active there if you guys want to come hang there. We'll probably do live streams once in a while as well. But yeah, I hope you guys had a happy holiday.
Have a happy new year. We'll see you in 2019.
Bye.